All right, today we are diving into the absolutely wild story of Professor Brian Cox. You know him, right? He's the guy who somehow managed to connect two worlds that feel like they're on opposite ends of the universe, pop music and particle physics. And he didn't just connect them, he made the cosmos feel personal and totally awe-inspiring for millions of us.
So, to really get a handle on Brian Cox, you have to picture two completely different people. First, imagine a 90s pop star. On stage, keyboardist for the band D-Ream with massive chart hits, touring the world. Now, picture a serious academic, a professor of particle physics working deep underground at CERN on the Large Hadron Collider. It sounds like a character from a movie, right? But nope, that's the same guy.
So the big question is, how? How on earth does a chart-topping musician become one of the most famous scientists on the planet? Well, that's the incredible journey we're about to explore.
Let's rewind a bit, because this whole story doesn't actually kick off on a stage with a keyboard. It starts with a book.
Yeah, long before the music career ever took off, the seed for his life in science was planted. When he was just 12 years old, he picked up Carl Sagan's legendary book, Cosmos. And that was it. That was the moment the spark was lit. He knew, right then and there, he wanted to be a physicist.
But, life doesn't always move in a straight line. It had a pretty major musical detour in store for him. And this is the part of the story where his two biggest passions, music and physics, were literally happening at the same time.
And just look at this timeline, it is absolutely bonkers. He starts off in '88 with a rock band called Dare. While he's doing that, he somehow manages to get a first-class honors degree in physics in '91. 2 years later, he joins D-Ream and they become huge. But the second the band splits up in '97, he pivots right back to his studies and finishes his PhD in high-energy particle physics just 1 year later. Just think about that. He was studying for a physics PhD while being a full-on pop star. Incredible.
And for anyone out there who thinks people like him are just born brilliant, you have to hear this. Cox is super open about his own academic struggles. He admits he got a D in his high school math exam, saying, quote, "I was really not very good." His big realization? You actually have to practice. It's such a simple but really powerful message, right?
So after the band's anthem, Things Can Only Get Better, faded from the charts, his science career took center stage, and it put him at the very heart of modern physics, a place called CERN.
Now, for anyone who's not familiar, what is CERN? Well, it's basically the most important place in the world for particle physics. It's home to the famous Large Hadron Collider. You know, that massive world's largest particle accelerator buried underneath France and Switzerland? It's a big deal.
And let's be clear, his credentials here are legit. He's a professor at the University of Manchester. He worked directly on the ATLAS experiment at the LHC. He even held a super prestigious Royal Society Research Fellowship. This isn't some celebrity just dabbling in science for fun. He is a serious, respected, practicing physicist.
But it turns out his journey had another chapter. After conquering the worlds of both pop music and academic research, he started something new. He began blending his physicist's brain with a rock star's natural charisma, and he became one of the best science communicators on the entire planet.
And really, you can't get a better seal of approval than this one. The legend himself, Sir David Attenborough, called Brian Cox his natural successor. I mean, coming from the absolute master of broadcasting, that tells you everything you need to know about Cox's unique gift for connecting with people.
And his work totally backs it up. You've got the absolutely stunning Wonders Of series, the super fun, accessible Stargazing Live, and his hilarious and smart radio show, The Infinite Monkey Cage. He's just found so many different ways to make complex science feel exciting and understandable for everyone.
So, what's the ultimate result of all this work? Well, his impact has been so real, so tangible, that it's actually been given a name, the Brian Cox effect.
It's true. After his shows hit it big, universities all over the UK saw this massive spike in the number of students applying to study physics. He wasn't just talking about science on TV, he was actually actively inspiring a whole new generation to go out and do it themselves. That is a seriously powerful legacy.
And of course, the official recognition has definitely followed. He's won top awards from the Institute of Physics and the Royal Society. He's even been honored by the British monarchy not once but twice, not just for his scientific research, but specifically for his incredible service to promoting science.
Brian Cox's journey from pop star to physicist to a global science educator, it's just this amazing story about following what you're passionate about, no matter how different those passions might seem. It really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What other hidden talents, What other unlikely combinations of skills are out there right now just waiting to reshape our world?